Hi everyone, welcome to Everyday, your daily stop for virtual reality content. My name is Dee, and today I am taking a long overdue look at one of the very first VR experiences that many people try, which is Welcome to Oculus, which runs on the Oculus Rift Development Kit 2. Now, Welcome to Oculus is not an official Oculus application. It is created by an indie developer out of Dallas, Texas by the name of Trey Davis. He runs a website called Trey Tech, and more recently, he also has run a new website called Slice VR. Slice VR lists this application on their website, as well as a newer application designed for HTC Vive, which was first prototyped at the Vive Jam down in Texas, which I also attended. I didn't get to see this particular demo there when I was there, but it is a very cool demo. It's called Apple Pie Jones. And the basic idea of Apple Pie Jones is you have two laser beams attached to your hands, and you just wander around wreaking havoc on the environment with them and solving puzzles while someone is giving you instructions. So that's the basic idea. I'll give you a little look at that.
We need you to help stop the launch. You have your laser weapon with you. These are prototypes. Once you turn them on, you cannot turn them off until the battery has run out. Test it out. Aim the beam at the popcorn on the desk and pop it. I know it looks like a crappy orange box, but it is very critical and important. We have to trigger 3 switches now inside the control room. Use your laser to trigger all 3 of the big green buttons. They will turn red when they are activated. Great job!
And so this game, on the other hand, so this is not even really a game, Welcome to Oculus. It's more of an introductory experience. You're intended to just sit in one place, and as the world unfolds around you. And I've actually, believe it or not, never tried this experience even once. I'm not sure why, never got around to it, long list of demos, you know how it is. But today I will. You're going to be seeing my very first impressions in Welcome to Oculus. So I believe I'm all ready to go. This is one of the highest rated applications on Oculus Share. It's a very popular application. Probably the most popular first time application, except possibly for Sightline to Share. And I'm ready to go. Let's go into Trey Tech's Welcome to Oculus. Alright, here we are. Health and safety warning. Get out of here. Get out of here. Alright. Please get into a comfortable position, look forward, then press space. So this is stuck to my head. Wherever I look, I will see this message and nothing else in the world. It's usually better to have a head-tracked initial calibration screen, but you know, this is okay. I can live with this. So the screen just turned a little bit gray. I believe that's the to prevent the pure blacks from causing color bleeding.
This elusive gateway into the infinite has captivated our imagination for years. We've tried time and time again to unlock the door, but the key has always been just out of reach.
What even is that system? I don't recognize it.
Until now.
I'm in a chair.
Something about the possibility of visiting other worlds has always enticed us. Through whatever medium was available at the time, we have always felt a need to construct worlds of our own. As technology improved, our ability to construct new worlds grew more and more powerful. No longer were our creations restricted by pen and paper, but instead captivated us by the means of screens and speakers. The advent of the computer was another key element in the long journey. It allowed us to finally interact with our worlds, and the internet enabled us to share in those experiences with others.
Lots of iconic media here.
But we knew something was still missing.
Virtual
Until there were no
boy.
barriers between us and our creations, we would never be truly satisfied. We deeply longed to open that last and final door, and take our first steps into another world. So today, I invite you to do exactly that. As we take a journey into the world of Oculus.
It's the old logo. And it's swallowing me. So that was cool. That was a nice little history lesson. Kind of going to... Whoa! Hello! We're in an environment now. Check it out. So yeah, we got that little history lesson of kind of people in media trying to create alternate worlds.
As you take a look around the room you find yourself in, you can get a real sense of space.
That's true. Everything seems about the right size.
You can gauge the distance to the walls, or tell how high the ceiling is.
It's about an 8-foot ceiling, about like 6 feet to that wall.
It doesn't matter that none of this is actually real. Your brain on a subconscious level can't help but believe that it is. For instance, as this pipe approaches you, you still have the urge to duck out of the way.
No.
And as this block lowers overhead, you feel a sense of uneasiness.
Oh god. Stop messing with my head. Stop it.
As you move through the room, it feels almost like you could reach out and touch it.
It is quite close to me. I want to... What's in that closet?
The real magic is that this sense of presence is not created by complex graphics. Even when placed into an empty room, I bet you will still get that falling sensation in the pit of your stomach. Better hold on.
Ah! No fair. Ah! Okay, that was a long way down. That's where I came out of.
Different aspects combine to create the most immersive experience imaginable. Surrounded 360 degrees by your environment, you will find yourself completely transported into another world.
Oh, I have a flashlight now.
Virtual reality can invoke sensations that traditional video games or movies just never could.
It's like I'm back in Half-Life 2. This is a reasonably nice flashlight. I like that. So what sensations do you intend to evoke this time, Trey? I wonder if he's doing his own... He must be doing his own voiceover. I guess that's what he sounds like, unless he like hired somebody. I don't think he did. Oh, things are getting fuzzy. Ah, what's happening? Ah! Ah, it's Slenderman.
That isn't to say that you won't ever watch another movie again. In fact, virtual reality can be quite an excellent place to catch a film. The popcorn isn't expensive, no one is kicking your seat, and you can sit wherever you want.
This is a pretty nice theater, actually. That's obviously Lord of the Rings. I think the second film, Two Towers, or no, that's Fellowship of the Ring, I think. Whatever. You guys can tell me.
Sometimes, though, you just want to stay at home and relax. Of course, you can also do that in virtual reality. Feel like sitting on the couch and just watching TV? Go right ahead.
This is a pretty sweet room. Just the right size for a little TV watching.
Want to enjoy a video game instead? Well, now you can relive all your old favorites in a whole new way.
Mario 64. Star Fox 64, of course.
No matter what it is, you can now enjoy your favorite traditional media in any environment you wish.
I really like how it's going into how traditional media fits into VR.
As you can see, the possibilities with virtual reality are limitless. And after a few false starts, it appears it is finally becoming what everyone had hoped it could be. Countless experiences have already been created for virtual reality, and that number only continues to grow.
So these are all the famous videos of various reactions to the Rift.
From white-knuckle dogfights with space pirates, to just driving around the countryside, there is an experience for everyone.
This is a beautiful view too. The sunset, these clouds.
Your favorite worlds, old and new alike, will finally be brought to life.
This reminds me of one of those Disney dark rides. Except it's like a VR history lesson ride.
For the longest time, virtual reality seemed so far away.
Holy shit.
But now, almost without warning, that dream has finally come true. As you look around, you are not just seeing bits in a computer, or pixels on a screen. What you are seeing is pure potential. The ultimate canvas, capable of conveying the vastness of human imagination. Welcome to Oculus.
Nice. So that was really, really cool. And I want to talk a bit more about it. So I'm actually going to go through this time and just kind of turn the volume down a bit, talk over it, since it was a pretty short experience. All right, so here we are again at the opening video. And I like this part because it starts out just showing you a video in front of your face. And this is kind of the most basic thing that head-mount displays can do. And head-mount displays have been doing, putting a video in front of your face at a reasonable distance in a black void like Sony HMZ. They've been doing this for years before the Rift existed. But then it suddenly drops you into this other environment. And suddenly you're on this ride and a door opens in front of you and you realize something very different is going on. So I like that approach. I like how it takes you out of kind of the very basic, like, it's just a TV attached to your head. It starts with that, because that's what a lot of people think VR is. It starts with that, and then it says, no, actually, it's not just a TV attached to your head. You're in a world now. And, you know, it's gradual. It starts by moving you through this very simplified world, where most of it is still solid black. And it's going through, it's kind of leading up to giving you a complete world. It goes through all the steps. It gives you, and it takes you on a ride through the steps. It's like you're moving through the timeline of history. And it starts with all the traditional forms like the writing and kind of creating fictional worlds, and then it gives you gaming, it gives you film, it gives you TV, it gives you gaming. And it shows some of the early attempts at virtual reality from the 90s, which were obviously largely unsuccessful, although a lot of the early progress was made at that time. And then, once it's gotten you past that and to the present day, it opens it up and it drops you into an environment that completely surrounds you, that you can look all around. So they make very heavy use of the actual Oculus logo here, and in general, this is one of my problems with this experience. That's this big focus on welcome to Oculus. Oculus equals VR. VR equals Oculus. And that's obviously not the case. At the time this demo was made, it kind of was. Like, there weren't, like, Morpheus existed. Morpheus was good, but it was only on console. So on the PC, if you had a PC, Oculus was basically your only choice for quality VR. Now that the Vive exists, that's been called into question. But it's certainly still a major player, and I think for a lot of people who see Oculus on YouTube, like you guys, there's still a big equating of Oculus with virtual reality, with consumer virtual reality. I really like how they talk about bringing to your attention. Let's see if I can not move out of the way. Oh god! Okay, I clipped through it that time. That always freaks me out when something's coming at me in VR, and I like how it illustrates this, because this is so different from monitor-based experiences. This is not since these, and it's highlighting the specific things that VR adds beyond just looking around. It's not just looking around. It's sense of scale, sense of distance, and feeling that sense of personal space, that things are coming at you, that you have real motion of your body that you can feel. All those things are kind of like, I mean, they're all consequences of the head tracking but they're indirect consequences that you wouldn't anticipate. So, and this is actually based on the old Valve Room demo. So way back when Valve was doing early research on their own head-mount display, they had a room just like that, where you walked out onto a ledge over a room with some shitty textures on the walls that were taken from a web page. And then they had you drop down. Well, you didn't drop down, but you looked down into it, and you would feel uneasy because, holy shit, you were really high up. And they're trying to make the point there in this demo, as well as in the original Valve Room, that you do not need hyper-realistic graphics to feel that sense of presence, to feel like, oh my god, I'm 100 feet in the air. All you need is really solid virtual reality technology, really solid latency, really solid refresh rate, things like that. I had a feeling this was going to be a horror part because it's obviously a dark and spooky environment. But it's a nice segment. I'm not sure how it fits in with the other segments. Here comes Slenderman. They actually made a version of this demo without Slenderman in it, just for the people who don't want to be scared. I forget where you can grab that, but it exists.
Virtual reality can be quite an excellent place to catch a film.
So, and horror, I think, is, I mean, I would call it one of the quintessential uses of virtual reality, because horror is a situation where being trapped in that environment, being in the dark, like when you watch a scary movie in the dark, you're modifying your environment to make it more like the movie. You're trying to get that better immersion. Immersion is so important for horror. And the more immersed you are, the less you can escape, the more endangered you feel in a horror environment. So VR is a great fit for horror, and to the point that it's become a bit of a cliche now to make a horror game for the Oculus Rift. But there's going to be some more of them, and there's going to be some really, really great horror content that comes to it in time. They're going to have to be a bit more creative in terms of how they scare you and how they make you feel that fear, than just doing a bunch of jump scares, like something like I did a playthrough of I'm blanking on it right now. The one where you go through the amusement park and stuff. But yeah, I think they're going to, like, Dread Halls is a great experience that gives you that real sense of anticipation and danger. And I think there's going to be a lot of those really high quality horror experiences that are just they're going to be ported to VR, and they're going to be 10 times better for being in the VR space. Anyway, I haven't talked about this part yet, but it's showing us all this traditional media, these traditional media embedded in VR. And I think that's important to do, because a lot of people, when they first hear about VR, they think to themselves, well, do I really want to, get it? I don't want to give up my screen. I don't want to give up going to the movies. I don't want to give up my monitor. I don't want to give up my big screen TV. And kind of the point here is you're not giving up anything. Like, you can play your 2D games, you can have your big screen TV, you can have your theater, and you can take it with you everywhere you go. It's VR is the ultimate medium, the final frontier. It contains all other media. And that's kind of a slight exaggeration at this point in time, because right now the pixel density is like on the same level as a PS2. It's really low. So all these screens look kind of low resolution to me. But in the long run, when we get really high resolution HMDs with angular pixel density comparable to 1080p displays, you'll be able to have any size screen you want, any distance, have as many of them as you want all around you. There's no limit to how you consume traditional media anymore, or in what environment you choose to consume it. And then on top of that, you can have these worlds that completely surround you. And I love the ending as well. Space is always just a breathtaking environment to put you in. And having the Earth laid out before you, it's really kind of a grand way of saying the world is now in your hands. We can put you anywhere. We can deliver any environment, because space is a classic example of an environment that you can't go to space unless you have hundreds of millions of dollars. You can't do it. In VR is the closest you're likely to ever get in your lifetime to that experience. And it's easy to get there now, and that's really amazing. Anyway, so this has been Welcome to Oculus, and it's a great experience. And Sightline the Chair is also a great initial experience, but this one is kind of Sightline the Chair. It's kind of a watch and see what happens experience and learn through experience. Whereas this is more kind of almost like a little lecture, where it kind of takes you through the history and tells you about different VR concepts. And so I mean, I like both of those approaches, and they both have their merits. And I think that if you're only going to show a new person in VR 2 demos, these might be the two to show them. This one and Sightline the Chair. And then if you have time for a third one, maybe something in a genre specific to a genre they like and might want to see. So that's all for today. Let me guys know what you think of Welcome to Oculus. If you have a Rift, go and try it now. If I can get my hands on the source code for this, I might try and make a 360 video version of this, which, since it is just a dark ride, should be entirely possible. But that's a future thing. Anyway, that's all for today. Let me know any other demos you want to see me play. There's going to be more Wind Waker and more Telos Principle coming up soon. Everybody have a great every day. A demo where you sit in one place and you look around. And that sounds boring, but it's not. It's awesome, because this is a demo where the world changes dramatically around you as you look around. Sightline the Chair was released